Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Dave, and tonight we're going to be playing some Zoo Mafia RPG. Got a bunch of fine nerds here with me, and if you're interested in staying up to date with Zoo Mafia and being in the know when the quick start rules drop, then you might want to visit the description down below and sign up for the Zoo Mafia newsletter. But while you're there, you can find links to the awesome Robin Miller and Stephen Partridge and go stalk them across the interwebs in a good way, not a creepy way. With that, let's jump in. Who wants to recap? We never do recaps with these. I never let you guys do recaps, but I think I'm going to have one of you guys do it.
I would volunteer, but I actually don't remember.
All right, so we ended the previous session off with getting the coins for Carlo Hambino's private club, or not private club, but his club, the Sty. So we started to get in and go to this place. We started around. We realized as we went in that there's some serious respect coming our way, even though we're not made as of yet. But we come in, we do our thing. Eve tries to schmooze and make her way onto stage, but the singer that was up there was having none of it and just completely blocked her snaky entrance. Eventually, two thugs from Al Capone, a rhino and an alligator, just burst through the door, Tommy guns flaring, and we drive them off with Tommy's threat of a stick of dynamite, which is how the alligator's brother kind of bit the dust. So at that point in time, there's some injuries. I don't know if anybody was down. Carlo Hambino stands up and says 100 peanuts for each of their heads. And we said, well, we got to make that happen. Long story short, Eve slips into their hideaway, does some smooth talking, convinces them to kind of come tomorrow to a specific location. She's going to lead them there. We set up a trap. We stick some dynamite in the ground with a fuse. Kaboom! Alligator and rhino go down, do the gruesome deed, take the heads in the getaway car. But none other than Outback Alice is on the scene and gets a picture of us from behind silhouettes, and Machine Gun Otto comes in to their lair while we're doing a cleanup. All the goods and stuff have been removed, but we're trying to make sure that we haven't left any evidence behind. And he sends in his goons, and before he beats feet, 12 of his otter goons are gunned down by our group. And to make all of that happen, Tommy had to spend 2 of his 10 markers, so he's definitely feeling a bit of the heat coming down from on top.
I don't know what you're talking about. You have another 8 still.
Yeah, but there's still 6 sessions plus the night.
So with that, you guys have gone back to the pigsty. You've collected your 100 peanuts for each of the heads, so 200 peanuts for you guys to divvy up however you see fit. And if Carlo Hambino is true to his word, the next time you head into the pigsty, you should see a couple of new trophies adorning the wall. So with that, what are you guys doing? You've had an eventful couple of days. You had your regular stint in the zoo with the normal people coming in and gawking at you as they do, as the humans want to do. But the night times, the zoo closes around 5:30, and the night times is when things come alive for the zoo animals, and they get to live their other lives. So what is everyone doing?
I'm looking for contraband. I want cookies, specifically.
Okay. A sharp-eyed owl. I would say you'd probably have learned to keep an eye out for the little ones. They are want to drop things, and I will say you have easily been able to mark a spot and find a stash of Not quite cookies, but animal crackers.
Okay. It is not quite what I was looking for, but I feel like it'll do well enough for now. In that case, I'm just waiting around wherever Eve shows up around this time of evening.
So Tommy is looking to spend some time at our hideout, kind of going through and seeing what things he's not, as caring about the art. I'm certain that Eve probably is, but he's looking at, weapons, anything fun that might have been there that the the not so smart duo might not have realized what they have. This is probably our largest score because it's entirely ours. We don't have to give it to anybody. So he's trying to not so much catalog, but organize.
Okay, well you scored a couple more revolvers, a couple Tommy guns, plenty of ammo, and an assortment of melee weapons. They seem to favor those. There's definitely a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, a heavy chain, crowbar, very, very thuggy type stuff.
Well, Tommy had taken one of the Tommy guns. I mean, come on, it's got his name right there.
Fair enough.
I think Eve would like to try to spend the days getting the hideout looking less like a warehouse or storeroom and more like an aesthetic place you would want to be at, right? Like she's trying to turn it more into a lounge sort of environment. And the artwork is absolutely helping with that. She's not hawking any of it. She's putting it up.
I respect that.
Well, you were able to score a couple pieces of well-known art: humans playing cards, baboons screaming, giraffe farmers, and the Mona Lizard, of course.
Yes.
And there was a couple other pieces as well that aren't as well known.
Okay, cool.
Tommy will gladly, help. Tommy will gladly help you hang that stuff up and let it be the decor that you're looking for.
Awesome. Yeah, and she's definitely putting up the things in places that are thematic. So the people playing cards is in the dining room area that she's setting up where we can just eat and enjoy ourselves. And the Mona Lizard is definitely hanging over the fire window of the furnace in this back area. So it looks almost like it's above a hearth, that kind of stuff.
You really wanted that close to a heat source? I mean, the Mona Lizard for crying out loud.
Well, we need something there, darling.
Huh? To each their own.
So,
no reward without some risk. So you guys are probably, a half a week away from when the monorail score is supposed to be coming through.
Should probably be preparing for that.
mm-hmm,
What
yeah.
What steps do we have to do in order to make that job happen and happen the way we want? We know.
Yeah, I don't actually remember what the details of it were either. Yeah.
So the details, as you know them, was that the and you kind of have the paperwork, some paperwork that kind of outlines things and schematics of the monorail itself as to where the secret compartments are, where the contraband is being stashed, but the delivery is supposed to happen at the Amazon station. The goods leave from the main station, and it's about a 30-minute ride. There are 2 stops before the Amazon station, and it appears that the drop is supposed to happen during the pre-test run of the monorail, and that is before the zoo actually opens.
So Eve will pull Cobb to the side real quick. And she'll be like, Cobb, darling, question for you. You seem to be very aware of everything, really. So do you think it will pose a problem if we choose not to fill in our new patron on this escapade?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, there's a good chance, if it's a big job, they're going to want to cut in on it. But if we pull it off, then it'll be all the better for our rep.
Right. But do you think it would be a problem if we attract attention and it's found out that we did this without telling them beforehand?
I don't think it'll be a problem. I think it'll show our chutzpah.
All right. Well, it crossed my mind. And so I was just curious.
The more people that know, the more people that are going to want to cut in on the action. Word travels around the zoo. Who knows? Maybe we tell one person, then word gets to one of the other bosses. Next thing you know, we got more, people showing up, making it more complicated than it has to be.
Right. Here's the thing. I met with Alice last night and tried to ease things over, but I also got the distinct impression she intends to continue reporting, and she knows that we are the ones involved because she's seen us. She may follow us, and if we aren't careful, she may publish our success or failure.
That'd be pretty unfortunate for Outback Alice.
I don't want anything to happen to her.
I don't either. But I also don't want anything to happen to me or this mob.
Right. I don't know, she's a friend.
Well, in the middle of a gang war, friends are people that don't put you in danger, and if she's going to do that, she's putting us and herself in danger. That's a choice she can make.
I suppose. But anyway, thank you for your insight.
Sure.
And she'll go back to whatever she was doing before, probably hanging a painting. Or rather, telling Tommy how to hang a painting.
So what do you guys want to do as far as, are you going to set about trying to plan? Are you going to, what is your plan as of right now?
It is a pretty big job, and like Eve said, there might be unwanted eyes on it. Maybe we can find something that Alice might find more interesting that night.
I will kind of point out, even though you guys have kind of learned about this this endeavor that Monkey Cohan had going on, and you got his $1,000 that apparently was marked to kind of bribe the guard, but you guys don't know if he's got more money. He obviously knows that this is supposed to go down, so you don't know if he's going to still try and complete the transaction somehow.
Maybe we could rob the robbers.
So
we could try to find out what they know or what they have planning.
That was going to be my thought, is if we do a little bit of reconnaissance and find out, what they know, what they have planning going on, we can kind of counter plan that and potentially score, whatever they're using, plus get the stuff that's on the monorail.
Do we know who's loading up the monorail? Maybe if we could make sure those compartments are empty before they even leave the station, without Monkey Cohen knowing, might let them do the job as planned. They arrive, and there's nothing there to get.
Yeah,
so Alice is on the scene when they get there.
So the notes that you guys have, are that the plan is that it gets loaded up at the main station and goes from the main station. It's going to stop at all of the stations along the way during the pre-test and pre-checks for the monorail before visitors come into the zoo and actually get on it. Well, it's during that pre-test that it is planned that, at the Amazon station, the contraband is going to be offloaded, and it takes about 30 minutes to get from the main station to the Amazon station, and there's 2 stations in between.
We rabbit at one and get off at the next. Maybe we could get on the train at the first stop, remove the stuff between.
And when something inevitably goes wrong, that's where I come in.
Stuff falls off trucks and monorails all the time.
Yeah, so the monorail will go through the Asia station and then the African station before landing at the Amazon station.
So, do we want to try to get onto the monorail before the load is placed and then abscond with it before it even gets to the destination it was supposed to?
I like that, and all the better if Mickey Cohen doesn't know. Maybe he's waiting at the end, empty-handed.
That's
Might be his picture in the paper the next day with whoever this human guard they have in cahoots with.
Exactly.
That way we get the stuff, put the hurt on Al Capone, and nobody's the wiser.
Cobb, you are a good planner. You've got a pretty, you've got a way better than decent idea what we're doing. You've got a good head on your shoulders, all 8 of them. I'm ready to go along with it.
So, what of Alice? Do we want to just let her do what she's going to do? Or do we try to put her in a different direction?
You're worried about her.
What does she know?
Right now, I believe she's home. Or else at the paper.
No, I said, what does she know?
She knows that we are part of this gang war, whatever it is. I told her that we were trying to help guide it in a direction that was not as destructive and that would be more beneficial to everyone on the whole. I mean, frankly speaking, I'm not stupid. I know that the mob bosses have their benefits to our society as well. They help put things in place that they need, but then it might benefit others. And I understand they're willing to let people get caught in the crossfire, but if we can mitigate the damage, at least for my part, I see that as one of the main goals of even participating with all of this.
I mean, what does she know about this job?
Nothing.
Oh.
I haven't told her about it.
So here's the thing. She's known about the things that it made sense for her to know about, if she were paying the slightest bit of attention. And honestly, if she took that picture, she could have got our faces in it. She could have ran our names. She didn't do that.
You're correct. But here's another thought. She may know about it. She was with them for an extended period of time when they fully intended to get rid of her at the most convenient opportunity. Therefore, she may have overheard something.
I have a thought about that.
Yes?
So assume for a minute that that's true, that she does know exactly what it is that we're about to get ourselves into, and she's going to be right there, all involved, getting her sticky little mitts all sticky with human money and tram stuff. If we did run into her, we could turn the setback into an opportunity. Because it's dangerous. And she's going to end up in a situation that's way over her head. And if we rescue her twice, then she knows it's probably not good business to mess with us.
Fair. I mean, I will admit my partiality, but I'd rather she weren't involved in anything that was dangerous.
But she's gonna be.
I know.
That kind of goes with the territory. You know, you're not going to get a good story without risk. Given the things that are going on in this zoo, it's risky.
It is.
Let's face it. She saw 2 heavies get taken down, and she thought it was a good idea to post their picture in the paper.
See, but here's the thing, right? She is reckless, and she's gonna print things no matter what we do. But if we're friends, we can make sure she prints the right things. And if she goes too far, then I'm absolutely not opposed to knocking her off. But she hasn't done that yet. She's not stupid.
This is true.
These reporters that dig too deep, it's a fine line between reporting on the story and becoming part of it.
It is. OOC, the irony of like just most of us even sitting here talking about becoming too much a part of this story. Sorry. But Oliver, he ruffles his feathers and he's just like, I'm just saying, I don't mind spilling blood, but it's usually not civilian blood, and she could be more useful than she is a detriment to us.
Yeah, for sure. I don't, the more, when civvies get involved, that just draws more attention to us. That's not good for business.
No. But if she is reporting on the right people, then we can get them in trouble and get off scot-free. It's useful.
Exactly.
She could be useful. Give her the chance to be.
Like I said, if she's at the Amazon station and Monkey Cohen thinks everything's going to plan, maybe that ends up on the front page. Monkeys make deal with humans. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, the press is useful.
That's true. And if I were to alert her to Monkey Cohen's location, we could at least fairly firmly wager on where she would be, instead of second guessing if she's following us or around any bush or corner.
Sure. Reporters get anonymous tips all the time.
It's a solid plan, Eve. By the way, if I could catch a word before we leave, I'd appreciate it.
With me?
Yeah.
All right.
Before we do that, real quick, I just one quick point, just a reminder from one of the previous sessions when you talked to Alice. She did point out that you kind of sent her on a wild goose chase, and she alluded to the fact that she didn't really believe you're 100% on the up and up with her. So
Right.
if you directly try and do that again, she's pretty savvy and pretty good at her job from what you can tell so far. Just a quick reminder. And also, who of you guys do you think would know of or be friends with an information broker?
I think somebody already wasn't there? That stool pigeon? Was somebody's contact.
Can I see if I am? I have a little feature where I can roll to see if I have contacts for certain things.
Well,
That was probably Eve then.
for this particular thing, you don't have to roll. You can just decide you want to, but anybody can. Stanley the stool pigeon was sent by Alice and had come to you guys, seeking you guys out specifically at Alice's behest when she had been taken by Monkey Cohen.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, I already do. Remember, because we used Horace the horse.
And so this would be a different one. So
okay.
if you wanted another one, or if someone else wanted to step up and have a contact.
Oh, somebody else wants to go for it.
I mean, like, this would be somebody that's giving information on other people.
This is a more general, like, information broker, and they're a neutral party.
You know, that's a useful thing to know as an assassin.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Mick the mouse is an African striped mouse that that is an acquaintance of yours, and how friendly you are with Mick, you can decide. But Mick can often be found at the market and in the zoo. Basically, after things shut down and the humans leave, all the animals come out and set up their marketplace where they trade and barter for stuff. So generally, Mick can be found at his magazines and newspaper stand. But now you guys can do the thing that you were going to do.
So
you had talked about getting some intel. That seems pretty wise as well.
I certainly could put my ears to the ground and see if I could find something.
Yeah, I guess we want to know if Cohen's if his plan's still on or not. That'd be nice to know. If it is, I imagine they have increased paranoia about it, since they know we know.
I would imagine
they might be planning. Who knows? This could get pretty complicated.
It could. Am I allowed to roll for that, Dave, to see if I can just see if any of my contacts knows if Monkey Cohen is planning on still doing this at all or not?
Is that your ace in the hole ability?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Not great. So that is 6 + 1, 7, and no doubles.
Okay, so it is not a failure. And what does a 7 get you on your? What does the move say?
I can acquire what I'm looking for, but at a cost.
Okay. So yes, you do find out that Monkey Cohen is indeed going to make the move and continue with it, and you know that the normal entourage that he'd be sending to do this has doubled in size.
Okay.
And so your contact, Horace, the horse, your go-to man, is going to need some of the action because he's really sticking his neck out on this one, and he's got a really long neck.
Okay.
I mean, the only way my neck could be out any further here, Eve, is if I was a giraffe. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I appreciate you. I will let you in on the goods, and I will give him 10 peanuts as collateral.
Okay.
For like the forward, basically.
If he's pulling extra crews onto this job, that means there's going to be less personnel elsewhere too. That might be something Carlo's interested in.
Indeed.
Or Machine Gun Auto, who knows?
If we tell them that, though, they'll want to know how we know that he's pulling more people for a job, and they'll look into what that job is, and they may find out that we know what the job is.
Maybe. But if there's nothing in the train when it gets there, it won't matter anyway.
I suppose. However, I will be forthright. Monkey Cohen knows my face, so I'm not sure that I'll be much good for Al Capone. I don't know. Does Machine Gun Auto know any of your faces?
Does now.
He sure does now.
He just turned a dozen of his thugs into red spots on the zoo.
He wasn't really in the hole. He just knew where we were.
He was there.
He was outside.
Yeah, he did not really actually go in, and essentially when things went south, he fled.
So
I don't know, audio auditors all look the same to me.
Oh, all of you had a gunfight.
I wouldn't call so much
that.
fight as this.
Well, I was out grabbing drinks, and all of you were risking your lives. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No big deal. So this is what I'm thinking, and feel free to shoot me down if I'm wrong. But Otto's kind of got his whiskers a twitching. What if we stir the pot a little bit more and say that we give them the location of where things are going down, so possibly we can get a shootout between these monkey mooks and Otto. They have their kerfuffle while we get away with the loot. Is that too much heat?
I don't know. I mean, if it works out, that'd be brilliant. But there's a risk, because how will we be able to verify that we have information and won't meddle as far as they're concerned? And with us now having a vested interest in Carlo, I'm not certain that we can play up the neutrality as much.
Well, I mean, got this letter here. We could kind of let slip. Maybe sell it to one of, Otto's lesser goons that's trying to get on the climb. We don't give him the rest. We give him just the bare information.
Now you're thinking.
I mean, we got the information.
So get that loose cannon to show up at the final drop spot. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking. Because the letter doesn't say where the stuff is. That's on the schematics, right, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's on the schematics.
So we keep the schematics and we say, hey, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. We get off scot-free with stuff. They kill each other.
Is there any indication of like how much stuff is like going to be loaded on the train?
So based on the schematic of the areas that have kind of been, that are secret compartments, it seems to be a decent amount.
So we might need some help.
It's all contained to one car, so it's not like the whole train, but it's still nothing to sneeze at.
Like, in other words, if our plan was to get on the train, rob it between stops, we would probably need help to get it all off in the small window of time that we would have there.
Yeah, or definitely someplace to put it.
Okay.
So do we need to bring someone else in on this?
Like who?
There's that Asian small-clawed otter exhibit over in the between the Asia and Africa stations. That waterfall might be a good place to hide it. If Tommy, do you have any contacts there?
I mean, I might have somebody. That otters, you got to be a little bit careful, because you have to know who's neutral and who's just decidedly not.
Mm-hmm.
We may need someone larger.
I'd rather go in a direction that just doesn't contain otters.
Okay. What about there's an elephant enclosure along the way too. They could probably offload a lot in those trunks.
I hear they never forget either. That could be both useful and a problem.
Well, we got a lot of peanuts. That goes a long way for bribes.
Sure does.
In fact, I think
And I
that's
eat mice. I bet I could use that as a bargaining chip.
The main station's right outside our little hidey hole here.
It is. So
We get on the train, ride it to the Asia station, hold it up, get the elephants to help us upload it. By the time it gets to the main station, both the goods and us are long gone. It's an idea anyway.
it is. Oliver, are you going to negotiate with the elephants then?
I think so.
Do you want company or do you want to go alone?
I wouldn't say no to company.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can back you up.
And if not, that's quite all right.
As for the actual train itself, we may need to do a pre-scouting mission to determine exactly what the layout of the train is, how the doors open, things like that. But that
Tommy, you
sounds
feel
more-
like taking a ride while they do that?
I'm always up for, planning that kind of stuff. You know me.
We could go get the lay of the land, as it were, while you guys talk to the elephants. Dude, the train, they don't even run at night, right? I mean, I'm assuming.
No,
Or, I mean, as far as we know, normally they don't.
I think sometimes some of the animals take over the trains
Okay.
and run them.
Okay. Well, we can start at the train boarding station and see what happens.
Maybe it's as simple as taking a ride on the train.
Maybe. I always wanted to get up on there.
So the elephants are led by, and the elephants are actually their own small mob that kind of stick to themselves, right? They've got their specialty, and they don't really mess with anything, and they don't mess with anyone else, and they're real old school too, right? Like the elephants don't let other animals into their mob, their mafia.
Mhm.
It is they're strictly traditionalists, and that used to be the old way. Like all the animals, if you were an otter mafia, it was only otters. If you were penguins or flamingos, that was it.
Family meant something more back then.
Yeah, some of the old timers, they don't really appreciate the new way very much, but it's really been taken off, especially with the younger mafias. So Madame Lucky Lucy is the matriarch and runs is the head of that family.
All right. Well, Oliver, I'll let you take point and see where it goes.
All right, so I'm going to be incredibly respectful because elephants never forget.
And they're all very like well dressed and prim and proper looking in their suits, and everything is immaculate. And you're met by Boris when you first approach the elephant enclosure.
All right, so I've got Eve with me. Okay, so I'm going to approach Boris. I'm going to give a bow, like extend one wing, like deep bow, respectful bow, like not so deep that it's mocking, but like, clearly taking you seriously. So I have an offer to make.
I can't refuse.
I hear you guys have been having some trouble with a few rodents.
We do not really care for rodents, for sure. And his trunk is grasping this huge stogie, and he like, right?
Yeah,
then,
I think.
But then it like blows, like it blows out the trunk instead of the mouth into the air. So.
Oh my god! Can the shapes be like weird, like pink elephants style?
Sure.
Oh man, yeah.
What are you, some kind of exterminator then?
Oh, you
birdie?
could certainly say that.
Yeah, it's the right person for that.
I would be more than willing to take care of your rodent problem. I will make sure you don't see a single mouse in your enclosure for months. But my friend here would like a small favor in return.
So, we were thinking that perhaps you might help us with moving some things. See, we're quite small.
He bristles a little bit.
Oh, I'm also looking for mice as we're having this conversation. If I can catch one while we're talking, that will really help our cause.
Yeah, roll me a d6.
Okay.
5.
Okay. You don't need to roll, Steven. Eve is good. So Eve and Boris are talking, and Boris bristles a little bit when you say about moving some stuff. Oh, the elephants are big, and that's all they're good for, moving things around. Pick this up, put that down, carry this person, carry this dozen children around the zoo. I feel a little stereotyped.
Nah, I fucking hate kids.
Well, here's the thing. We picked you not so much only for your size, but for your discretion. See, we could hire any number of large animals in the zoo. There are many large animals in the zoo. But how many of them are intelligent? How many of them are charismatic? And how many of them understand the ways of things? You have a family with extended connections, and certainly those connections weren't built with stupidity. You must understand the ways of more discreet business.
I can feel what you're putting down there, you know. The rhinos, you know, their brains are as small as they are big, and you know, hippos are a sorely lot for sure. So of the pachyderms, we are the most refined, I would say. I have to agree with you there. You've been able to get 5 mice, you know, while the conversation's been going on. So I appreciate what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through the madam.
That's fair.
She runs the show here, and we stay in line. You know, the other thing about us is we're loyal.
Of course. And we ourselves appreciate that as well, which is another reason we would like to ask your help specifically.
And he kind of like does this little like tiptoe step dance back and shivers a little bit. Oh, you really are good at exterminating those things. Ugh, get them out of my sight, please.
I'm like holding up all 5 of the mice in my talons, and I'm like toss one up and like gulp it. And then I toss one to Eve, because snakes also eat mice.
Oh yes, she will absolutely eat it.
So uncouth.
So delicious.
Well, if you're done with your buffet there, I will take you to see the madam.
Much appreciated.
And you know, where he's kind of dressed, like I said, in a nice suit and you know, a tie. You know, he's got his hat. He looks like he's ready for a day at the office. Except for when he moves a certain way, and you can see the bulge underneath of his jacket. And then, you know, in each one of his coat pockets, there's a slight shift, and you can see something large in each one, and kind of roughly shaped like a fist. And I think Eve might know, but I would say that Oliver definitely knows that he's got a set of brass knuckles in each one of his pockets.
And I also know better than to point it out.
So you are brought over to a large like outside dining area where there are tables and chairs set up, and there seems to be a bunch of elephants kind of attending to one elephant that is sitting at one table, having what appears to be tea, because there's a teapot on the table. and she's dressed in the most elegant of gowns. She's got, the elbow length gloves that she's wearing. There's a slit in one side of the dress that goes all the way up, but it definitely looks like formal wear, and also a nice pretty hat as well. And everything is pink.
Good evening, matriarch.
Hello.
Good evening. Who do I have the honor of this
She was
evening?
knocking Oliver.
Oh, who indeed? I am Oliver Boneyard. And this is my companion, Eve. We have a proposition for you.
Yes, and may I say, your gloves are ravishing. I wish I could wear those.
Perhaps one.
Perhaps, but I don't know what to do about the fingers.
I don't think they do either.
That being said, though, we have Oliver, my dear friend, is very good at dealing with pests, and he has come up with a proposition that might benefit both of us. We need some help with something, and we thought that only your family was both strong enough, smart enough, and discreet enough to deal with it.
Well, darling, flattery will get you everywhere. But come out with it. What is it you need? What is it you need the elephants for?
And Eve will just gesture to Oliver to take it over.
Well, see, as you can probably tell, we are very small. And of course, this diminutive stature of ours makes us very good at picking off smaller creatures. And I do understand you've been having a rodent problem recently. However, unfortunately, that grace that we have also makes it very difficult for us to move larger things, particularly in situations where a degree of subtlety is required.
Well, I mean, discretion is something we're very well capable of.
I know.
Although we are elephants and rarely are we subtle.
Well,
We kind of stand
you
out.
are in your own way. You stand out by virtue of your size, but you are also quite...
Oh, you can say magnificent. It's okay. You really can.
Are you sure?
I am
It
positive.
seemed a bit heavy-handed. All right, magnificent it is.
You can't tell if she seems more glowing more at you repeating the compliment she just said, or at her first utterance of it, or not. She's totally buying it though. Either way. So you want us to move some goods for you, and you want to offer us your services for getting rid of pests, exterminating the rodents.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, if you prefer, I won't even eat them. However, if you don't have a way to get rid of them, then that is quite convenient to, dispose of the carcasses.
Well, perhaps once the word gets out, that'll be enough and they won't come around anymore. But that's all well and good, but what is it you want us to move?
And I glance to Eve.
Hell, here's the bit of it that we were hoping you might be able to just be discreet about. Because frankly speaking, we don't know, darling. We know that it will be something that is very substantial. And we know that it is something that would be very beneficial to us, and we would be very grateful if you would help, seeing as you are indeed very magnificent and hopefully equally as magnanimous. But we don't know what we'll be moving. We just know it will be from the rail car.
That's how she does it.
She.
Yeah. She looks at you a little suspiciously at first.
Al Capone, you mean?
Yeah. So, she's been bringing in the contraband on the Sunrise Express.
No, that certainly makes sense.
You know, I'm half tempted to offer to help just to spite that bitch. But she's totally classless.
Oh, you and me both. I absolutely believe you. She's the worst.
But, yeah, let's not get too hasty. Cut us in on the haul. If you can promise us minimum exposure, we're not greedy. 10%. Like I said, I would almost do it for free. But, you know, the morals and ethics of it.
Tilting my whole head and turning it almost all the way around to glance at Eve, just like gauge her response to this.
Eve will look at her and be like, well, we already have others that we are having assist us with this as well. So perhaps we could go to 5.
5? I mean, I gave you a rock bottom offer. Because I like the two of you.
But we do have other people to cut in who all want percentages off the top. And so you see that by taking a percentage off the top, it's in fact much better than if you took the percentage post everyone else's cut. So,
and that said, and you're getting free extermination out of the deal, which I can get done quite quickly. I've been sitting here hunting since I first got here and have gotten quite a few of the little rodents out of your hair. That said, perhaps 7.
Done. And she offers you a trunk to shake on it.
I'm gonna go ahead and let Eve take care of that because I'm much smaller than she is and my talons are tiny.
So you have a trunk and a tail wrapped up and shaking.
Yeah.
So part of me says, like, this could have absolutely been, okay, shake on it. And the elephant just picks up the snake and shakes the whole thing.
May I say that you are every bit as magnificent as everyone says.
Oh, you're too kind.
But if you'll excuse us, we have a rendezvous to attend. So I hope you have a wonderful evening, though, darling.
Be safe, beautiful. I'm already leaving before like I can get the response to that. Like Oliver realized that was heavy-handed before he even said it. He's just going.
And you kind of like overhear as you're leaving. That was an excellent hearing. Curious, that one. What do you think the story is there, Boris? Why aren't they with their own kind? These youngins, I don't get it.
She heard me talking crap about Al Capone. All right, I'm gonna like talk to Eve on the way out. I think that went about as well as we could have expected it to.
Better even. That was very shrewd of you, coming in at the last moment with a 7.
Well, it's better than a 10 at the very least. And honestly, I thought that undercutting a little bit was pretty smart on your part as well. I'm not usually good at haggling.
Oh, well, we did a bang-up job, if I do say so. Let's hope that our friends are just as fortuitous.
Yeah. We make a pretty good team.
We do.
Speaking of which, I can't help but remember overhearing you saying something about when we were around those kids before and how we didn't actually get to talk to the kids. Anyway, I picked you up something and I'm gonna like pass a tin over with the animal crackers in it. And he continues talking like as she has the tin. He's like, it's not quite cookies, but it's about the closest thing.
I love these. Thank you so much. Do you want one?
Oh, no. No, it's all right. I'm not actually a fan. I'm kind of an obligate carnivore.
Oh, all right. I mean, my people will usually eat anything that moves. But these look like things that move, so. And she eats one.
And Tia gives a nod. And that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, thank you. That was very kind.
Of course.
I really hope that Tommy and Cobb are doing as well.
What are Tommy and
sure
Tob getting up to?
I think we were. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Trying to make our way to the monorail and either get on board or wait for it to stop and get on board and try to scope out the place. The car before, the car after, and the car that we're looking to get the stuff from.
Yeah, imagine I'd be peering through the bushes with my binoculars to check out the station first thing, see if there's anybody about.
Yeah, so at night when the animals kind of have the monorail, it is just the zoo. The zoo animals is kind of like the civilians that are running it and use it to get around the zoo.
Okay. So it runs and like just civilian animals basically are riding it just like people would during the day. Okay.
Yes.
What do you think, Tommy? Should we mingle or try to remain unseen? It looks like it's a full. I imagine we're sitting there for a little bit. Is it just like one car that goes around on a loop, basically?
Yes, it is. Well, it's two cars.
Okay.
The rear car is the car that is the contraband car.
I mean, but they're connected, right?
Yes, they're connected.
I'm saying like there's only one unit.
Yeah, there's only one monorail. Yeah, train. Okay.
Well, then we'll get on and scope it out, and as people kind of shift back and forth, we'll try to get into better position to try and gather as much intel as we possibly can.
That's true. Are people going to be on it? Oh, you said so. There's people on the main car, but the one we want to grab is just storage. As far as
no. They're both passenger cars, but so when the contraband run is planned during the pre-test trip. So,
and then there won't be people on it.
Yeah, there won't be animals on it. There won't be people on it.
I got it. Sorry, it just took me a minute to put that.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, cool. Well, then it won't even look that strange for us to be on here.
And a couple hours before the zoo opens is when, or before the zoo employees come in, is when the monorail shuts down because one, they don't want it to still be hot from running all night.
Sure. Who knows? Maybe we'll even walk away with some shinies tonight ourselves. But we'll stick to the plan.
Possible. Yep. So out of game, Dave. How many harm do we heal between sessions? 2?
You heal them all unless there's something going on.
All right, because I was down 3 and I thought it was 2, so I was like, all right, I'm 1, but never mind. Cool, thank you. So all right, I mean, if we're gonna just like act like normal folks, we'll sneak, not have to sneak, just gotta get on, like, go for a ride.
Are you gonna try and pass yourselves off as norms?
Yeah, we just look like regular average zoo animals, right?
Like, we're not gonna be walking around, loaded for bear. I mean, I can't.
No, I totally get that, but each of you give me a magnetism roll.
All right.
To see how successful you are. I don't know if you've ever been around really dangerous people, even when they're casual.
Yeah.
They kind of give off a bit of an aura.
Sure.
All right. That's a 5.
Not bad. Let's see. 9.
That's a 5 with doubles, no sixes.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
had doubles also. Yeah.
All right, so you got what did you say, a 7 or a 9? No, a 9
Mhm.
with doubles. So first of all, with a failure, you're gonna get an XP, Ted,
Hey.
and people are just staying away from you. It is something about this otter that is putting people off a bit. I feel like you even hear the words "machine gun Otto" whispered maybe once or twice.
Yeah, because I'm Machine Gun Otto, right?
And you're gonna get a forward. You're gonna get a -1 forward, and you can give Tommy a +1 forward to use going forward. And basically, you're mostly successful at passing yourself off as just being another civilian. But the fact that you kind of came on board and you're hanging out with Tommy is got people a little bit on edge, and they're not quite buying that.
Okay.
All right, so I got a -1 forward, but Doug gave me a +1 forward, so they counter.
Yeah.
They would counteract each other. Yeah. How do you have a -1?
Isn't that what you told me?
No, that's all from Doug's roll because he had doubles.
Yeah, I had
okay.
doubles on the ally and the neutral.
Yeah. So Doug has a +1 forward. He can give you away. He's going to get a -1 on his next thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
I-
Yes,
I got a 9, isn't that a?
that's a successful consequence.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, the stank
That's
of
weird.
hanging
He
around
failed
with Tommy.
9. No, okay.
So with that, what do you guys want to do on the train?
So I would imagine if we want to make our way to the contraband car and try to sit at or as close to the location that's going to be where the stuff is hidden.
Yeah, kind
And-
of see what the mechanism's like and all that, basically. Is that what you
Yeah,
were
so like
thinking?
we would just have a casual conversation. Basically, this game doesn't really have thieves' cant, but like we would totally be like, just kind of nonchalant conversation, but trying to like pass along information as best as possible as I examine, where the spot is and what I can tell about it. Just casual observation.
Yeah, and since he's the mechanical and kind, while he's sort of, doing that, I'm gonna keep an eye out that like he's not like drawing undue attention, or if I spot anybody that's like, in a family that we've run afoul of or anything like that. So I'll be his lookout while he's sort of scoping out the. Like, is there drinks served on
So
this
is it-
car?
you're
Is it
gonna-
like a casual party car type?
There are no drinks. It's more of a like a get from here to there
okay.
kind of thing for
Sure.
the animals.
All right.
Wait
So-
a second, Doug. You want to be a lookout while I'm doing the safecracker?
Wow.
So first and foremost,
Sorry.
you easily spot the basically the benches that have been you know that they're actually hollowed out and reinforced to hold the contraband, and the doors are kind of hidden, but you can kind of see them, and they're kind of been disguised in plain sight, like almost like maintenance hatches or something.
Okay.
One of the things is, people are just shying away from Tommy and they don't want to be near him for the most part. And some of the whispers are like you kept picking up on is like, who is that guy with the otter? Is that Machine Gun Otto? Like, so like you've garnered a little bit of attention, but it's not more where Tommy, they're looking at him as a dangerous threat. They're looking at you going like, why are you with the dangerous person, the psychopath?
The zoo makes strange bedfellows.
Yeah.
His enclosure's next to mine. We got paired up in a school visit once, and
And they're kind of like politely nodding and like agreeing.
Mhm.
Because they seem to not want to like draw Tommy's attention.
Yeah.
They seem okay, like they would talk to you normally and be quite okay with it, but Tommy is just like something about him.
It's a real nice zoo we've got here, isn't it? Lovely
Yes.
night for a monorail trip.
It's not bad at all. I'm just heading down to the market, make some trades, see if I can get some peanuts for the goods that I've got. And like, the person sitting next to you is a tortoise.
Mhm.
And he reaches, pulls his arm into his shell and then comes out with like some gold chains and some watches. And then says, these should be worth something, don't you think?
Yeah, those are real nice. I'm new to the zoo here. I've just arrived here from South America not too long ago. My new friend here showing me around. Those has some pretty nice looking jewelry you got there. Is that real?
How much you asking for the gold chain?
I was hoping to get a couple peanuts for it, sir. But you can have it if you want.
I'll give him 3 peanuts for the gold chain.
Thanks. That's really generous of you. And he looks like he wants to crawl into his shell.
Hey, it's okay, friend. We're all simpatico here.
And he kind of glances to the side at Tommy.
Does he have any rings?
He didn't see any rings, but you could ask him.
Yeah, I would have. I say, I got this wristwatch I've been carrying, but what do I care what time it is? But I do have eight arms that are pretty unadorned.
Well, I mean, that's true. They do feed us at the same time, so I guess the watch isn't as useful. It's like you could set that watch to when they come and feed us.
Yeah.
Rings?
Or, I could trade it for a few rings.
Let me see what I got. And he pulls his other arm in and seems to be rummaging around, and comes out with 2 rings, 1 silver and 1 gold. And the silver one has like an onyx stone on it, and the gold ring has a couple diamond chips in it. I got these. I'm looking to move.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 pinkies. You got 2 rings. I'm thinking maybe we could trade here. This is a authentic Brazilian wristwatch. It has perfect timing. I'll even throw in the chain with it.
I mean, I was hoping to square some peanuts, but I'll take that. I could probably sell that at the market. And then he leans into you and whispers, like he's trying to whisper so that Tommy can't hear him.
Mhm.
Are you okay? Do you need help? Do you want me to find some flatfoots?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm perfectly fine. Why? What's the problem? Are you okay?
His eyes roll a little bit. You see the whites as he kind of like shies back from Tommy. He's like, that's him, isn't it? That's Machine Gun Otto.
No, I don't know any Machine Gun Otto. Well, Ted, what was your cousin's name?
Torrance.
Torrance? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, his name's Torrance.
Oh, he reminded me of somebody else. And he seems to breathe a sigh of relief and seems to be calming down.
Who's this Machine Gun Otto character?
Oh, he's bad news. He's one of the mob bosses. And he nudges the giraffe next to him and goes, "It's okay. It's not him. It's okay."
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to get mixed up with anybody like that.
And
I
I
know what you mean though. These otters all look the same to me too.
He calms down, and then the giraffe next to him calms down, and then it's whispers down the line, and they're relaying the message, and they all seem to calm down a little bit and not be nearly as afraid of Tommy as they were.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I'll put 1 ring on each of my last spinnerets.
Okay.
Pinky rings.
Perfect.
Yeah, these are real nice.
They look good on you too. Hopefully they'll bring you some luck.
Yeah, I'm in a new place. I'm gonna need it. I think I've heard there's a lot of violence breaking out in this zoo recently.
It's just been terrible. I mean, animals are showing up dead left and right. It's only a matter of time before the humans figure something's not right. I hope the Flatfoots can get this mob war resolved, but I don't have a lot of confidence in them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. These thugs need to really be put in their place.
I've been reading the Daily Zoo every day, and every day there's more stories, and everything just seems to be getting worse and worse around here. I remember when you could just go out anytime and it was fine. The worst thing you'd have to worry about is like one of the humans that don't belong in the pens getting in. But even then, like the zookeepers would get them out really fast. I used to think being in a zoo was great. Even better than the island life I was used to. But now anymore, I just want to go back to my island.
Really, boy, that's kind of disappointing to hear. I smuggled myself here for the same reason.
Oh yeah.
My friend here, he loves when the kids kind of come up and get scared of his spidery stealth. Kids are always.
I like bare my venomous fangs and to just show them how scary I can be.
Whoa, that is scary. Well, I mean, I'm a tortoise. We're not that scary.
So you're looking to unload your goods. Who do you normally sell to? Is it just the general populace? Or?
Well, I don't have a stall in the market, so I usually just wander around to the different ones and see what they have, see if there's anything that I need that I can trade for, or if I can just make some extra peanuts, for a rainy day. You never know. I will say that the humans do reach into my enclosure a lot of times, and they drop stuff, and this shell is real handy for that.
Well, I mean, if you ever have problems unloading, I know somebody that, number one, is good at getting things and can get access to some peanuts. So if you let us know what you're looking for or what you're looking to unload, and might be able to help you out.
Well, I will keep that in mind. Pleased to meet you. I'm Herman T. Tortoise.
How you doing, Mr. Tortoise? I'm Oren Stolman.
Eugene Webb. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys as well. I'll keep it in mind. Which one of the otter enclosures are you at?
Not the one that you're thinking of. I know there's like 3 different ones.
Yeah, I know. Every time I look at the map, I'm like, oh, there's otters here. Yeah, there's a lot of them in this.
There's like a triangle.
I want to go to this zoo in real life.
With that many otter enclosures, hell yeah.
Yeah, right?
Well, if you make your way down to Florida, I think you can.
Oh, is that where this is?
Yeah, I think so.
Dave, I need you to know that, because of this campaign, occasionally I refer to my son's playpen as the baby enclosure. People are mad at me about this.
That's awesome.
Worlds are colliding.
Perfect. I mean, kids are like animals anyway, and they should be kept in enclosures.
Fair.
So is there anything specific you want to do? It looks like you can see where they are. It looks like a basic maintenance key would open them, so you don't think you'd have a whole lot of trouble with that. The keys that are kind of like hollowed out looking, where they just kind of plug in and turn, probably wouldn't give you any difficulties.
I guess we're also kind of timing how long. I mean, I know it's different because it's like the first run in the morning, but how long it stops, just to get an idea, how long might we have to unload this stuff before it moves?
Very, very good thought, Doug. Yeah, if we can get a time run, so we.
I just gave away my wristwatch. Damn it.
So. That is a very good question, and one of the things is you don't think you're going to get a lot of time at the stops, especially on a pre-check run of the secret compartments.
Yeah.
There is 8 of them.
Okay. How high above? Like, so I mean, we're going past where we want to offload. Like, how would the elephants be able to like reach their trunks up, like into the window and get the stuff if they were, had help? Like,
Yeah, I would say you could definitely hand the stuff out the windows.
Okay. So, worst case, maybe we don't get everything, but we could certainly get quite a bit.
Well, what if we find a way to make the car stop?
Oh, yeah. That's true. Little hold up action.
Little bit of saboteur, in between the two, the stops. So like, all right, we make it happen. They fix that, move along while they're fixing it. We're unloading.
I like the way you think, Tommy. What do you think? What do you think about if should we leave them empty, or should we put something in their place so they know they've been had? I don't know. Kind of just pondering as we're sort of not. I mean, I guess we're just cruising along, enjoying the ride.
Well, I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to be here.
That's true.
We could very well take a portion of it and take the stuff that we want and let them think that they've been had, whoever their supplier is. We could, if we brought in some junk, which would be a little bit harder because we're not the the carry it all kind of stuff. We could make it seem like even bigger, but
that's true. We could make it seem like the supplier screwed them over. There's a lot of possibilities here.
I'm definitely I'm thinking, if we don't take it all and we add some junk in, we can make this, like, if we've got the time, we can make it seem a bigger problem than it actually is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? What if, I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but let's say it's some sort of, more money, for instance. Maybe we just leave the top layer and put a bunch of junk underneath for the weight. They take it off. They might not even know they've been had till they get back. Unless they check it right there, in which case tempers flare and maybe they all take each other out.
Well, I'm still hoping that, we got monkey on otter violence going on that day.
Yeah.
So if you guys ride the train, the monorail for the entirety, so it's 30 minutes basically to the Amazon station, and then it is from the Amazon station back to the main station is another 20 minutes. So it's about round trip a total of 50 minutes.
Okay. That's excellent intel.
So we really only have 20 minutes to get the stuff out?
So it's 30 minutes from the main station to the Amazon.
Right. And then it makes the two between them, that and that. There's the two stops.
And then, and there's 2 stops in between.
Gotcha. Okay. Amazon station's up in Carlos territory. That's pretty ballsy of them to make that exchange right there.
That's true.
Monkey Cohen's got some cajones.
So that is technically the last stop before it heads back to the main station.
Oh, we get to go through the cloud forest. I love that area. Reminds me of home.
So what are Eve and Oliver up to?
That's a good question. Eve?
I think it would make sense because we're kind of getting stuff set up and whatnot, and this may be stressful. I think Eve might have suggested before we parted that we all meet for drinks at either the Sty or at this new bar that she found with Alice.
Did you say like sort of the retro like that was our plan to all meet up there afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally done. That sounds awesome.
So either the Sty or the Green Lemur.
if we're meeting with Alice, I don't think she's going to go to the sty. But
Yeah, that's true.
if we're not meeting Alice, I would say go to the sty. I want to see if the heads are on the wall.
Do you want to meet Alice?
That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I don't have it. I'm indifferent either.
I think Eve would be inclined to not have you guys talk to Alice, because every time there's a conversation about her, it always veers at some point toward her being killed or kidnapped or something else. So,
Hey, just to be clear, I just don't care.
you would like to ease her into meeting her other friends.
I'm a gangster. If she gets in our way and it's us or her, it's gonna be her.
Like
Is my
10%
position.
sorry.
Did you
But
say
I don't want that to happen.
I did.
What'd you say?
I said I'm like 10% sorry.
So yeah, I guess I vote the sty then.
Okay.
All right, excellent.
And Eve will try to totally get on stage again if she can manage it.
So the very first thing that you notice when you enter the door, well, first of all, the door person is out there, and like they have a bandage around their head, so it's Miss Olga Orange wearing her patented monkey suit as the doorwoman, but she's wearing a bandage around her head from where she got thumped the other night when the thugs busted in. But the very kind of like, the very first thing you see as you walk through the doors is, you've got, tables and the bar kind of off to the side, and then, the stage and the double pianos. Well, above the stage is either head, the alligator and the rhino taxidermied, looking down. Clearly, Carlo wanted anyone else who thought to do the same to be the first thing they saw when they came through the doors.
So is Carlo having court? Is he there?
He's not in attendance at the sty this evening.
Okay. So
and that area is roped off and just empty.
Sure.
Yeah, that was
So
was that just last night or a couple days, like a day or two? I mean, it was
A couple days ago. We'll call it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So when I noticed he's not there, I was gonna tip the hat to him. I'll tip the hat to the trophies instead.
Lovely handiwork, Tommy.
Well, it's team effort. So on the way in, or before we got there, on the way there, I would have asked Cobb, who's always got an eye out, to try and take note of people's reaction when we walk in.
Sure.
Like, somebody's gonna know that we're the ones that brought the heads in, and see what kind of interest and what kind of reactions that garners.
Yeah, you got it.
I'll
do that.
I am a bit concerned, Oliver. Now, Alice brought up a good point. If these gang wars keep escalating, we're going to draw attention. We have a headless rhino and alligator in the zoo at this point. I can't believe the humans are just going to allow that to be.
We should probably pick up the bodies, is what you're saying?
No, even if we take care of the bodies, the humans are missing a rhino and an alligator.
Oh, you're right, they probably will notice, but consider that means that the rare animals get to do whatever the hell they want, and the ones that are more easily missed don't.
The humans are pretty stupid, right? I mean, there's deaths every night here. mobs and mafias that are always fighting and, you know, killing. Yeah, sometimes the bodies show up and sometimes they don't, but they're clueless. They're gonna blame it on other humans. They don't have a clue on things. I mean, how many times has a human come near your furnace and just be like, "Oh, humdy humdy hum"? No, I don't think those barrels and that artwork and hody hody ho.
Who's gonna think this cute guy chopped a rhino's head off? Am I right?
I mean, fair. And frankly speaking, I have seen the humans believe some outlandish things. So it's not out of the question.
Now, all fairness, like this, you know, the setting is big city USA anywhere, or big city USA anywhere. But had we actually placed it in Florida, you know, this could just be a Florida man happenstance on a Tuesday.
Yeah. as we're hanging out and, you know, I'm drinking my classic Moscow Mule, you'll notice that I'm absolutely, like, you know, he's got his little ring, he's holding his cup like that very prominently.
Oh, you know, Tommy's now got a gold chain around his neck.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We had an absolutely lovely monorail ride.
Oh, well, it looks like all of you were quite successful.
It was a lovely monorail ride.
Oliver, would you care to share what happened with us?
Well, like wings behind head, leaning back in the seat, like little chirpy feet, like kind of propped up on the table.
Do you have them crossed so that the little blades are clinking?
Yes, like spurs. We went to talk to the elephants. It didn't seem like it was going too hot at first. But like I said, they have a rodent problem. I didn't actually know that, but they always have a rodent problem. There's just too much shit in their cages. Too much straw, too many places to hide. The humans don't pay too much attention. So I you know, caught a few while we were talking, and then Eve spun that web of hers. She's got that silver tongue going on. And they're gonna move the stuff.
Excellent.
Man, that's awesome. Tommy should be able to get in those compartments, no problem. We were thinking maybe if we could hold up the train at the Asia station for a few minutes, depending on how many of these the elephant family can help, might be able to unload it all in under a minute, maybe. We also were, you know, it was a long ride. We thought, you know, there's a lot of possibilities here. We don't even know what the goods are, but, you know, maybe we just we leave the top layer of it on there, and they might not even be all the wiser until they get back after the exchange. And if they decide to check then, maybe one of them thinks they double-cross the other, and maybe violence ensues. Who knows?
Well, we've got some things loaded with some sticks, some rocks, some peanut shells. We could, you know, have a little bit of fun and, you know, see what we can make away with and make some others ensue violence that only going to go poorly for them, because, you know, our enemies fighting our enemies. Well, it's only a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like sidelong glancing at Eve to make sure she's actually on board with this. Because I have noticed that she has a tendency to be a little bit more soft-hearted than the rest of us, and I don't actually care. But if she does, then I do.
Eve is on board. She sort of like gives you a look. I just want to make sure that we're conscious that we're not dragging people into this who don't choose to be part of it. Like,
right there with you, Eve.
The monkeys, the rhinos, you know, whoever chooses to be part of this gang war, well, so be it. You've made your choice. You know the risks. Even to an extent, I can understand if Alice gets caught in the crossfire because she chooses her risks. I just want us to be careful not to include civilians.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
When people who aren't in life start showing up dead, then that's not good for anybody.
And
but
that's how we get caught.
those who beget violence, sure. But
Unfortunately, oh, sorry.
not looking to, cause undue attention in that direction. I mean, that's what Otto does. He can leave a trail of bodies. It's why I'm here with you and not with him. Like, I could have easily gotten into Otto's ranks, a while back. I don't like the way he operates.
Fair.
Although I guess that does beg the question, there won't be any civilians on the monorail that morning, but who's driving it? They could be in danger if you're that worried about it.
Well, that's the human, right? The one that's got to
is the person driving the train the one who is supposed to do the switch?
You have a name for a security guard.
Okay.
So
I mean, whoever's driving the train is in on it, basically. As far as we know.
You guys don't know one way or the other.
Oh, okay.
If it's just the security guard that's involved, or if it's also the driver.
Maybe we should check the shift schedule that day. If you're that worried about it. Like I said, I don't want to, when normies start showing up dead, that's going to draw the fuzz, and that ain't good for anybody.
Right. Well.
So we got some days to plan. We can look at, finding out the driver schedule, finding out where we're going to hide, so that we're there after they're done unloading, so we can start right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we can, figure out, what kind of stuff we can stage so it can be already ready to be uploaded to fill in the gaps of stuff. We can look at causing some kind of distraction or slowdown if we think that we need more time to unload. And lastly, we can look at, trying to set up an utter fall guy, sell this letter to, and pit Machine Gun Otto and Monkey Cohen against each other.
Like all the words you just said, friend.
So what do we know about the relationship between Machine Gun Otto and Owl Capone or Monkey Cohen?
Okay, so Monkey Cohen that's very simple. Monkey Cohen is one of the lieutenants or underbosses that works for Al Capone. All of the bosses, I mean, it is a mob war between the three factions. And
okay.
they're the three main factions. As we've kind of alluded to, like, there's other smaller factions in the within the zoo itself. Some of them throw in with the bigger faction, the bigger families, and some stay independent and kind of just stay out of the way. And the elephants are one of those that have kind of remained neutral.
All right, so it's feasible that if we give Machine Gun Otto information about some possible score, that Otto might send his goons in to try and get it from Monkey Cohen.
It is a very good possibility, and also of the bosses, Otto is the most unpredictable. So, he may try and steal it. He may try and ruin the deal. He may do nothing. It seems like you could flip a coin with Otto some days.
But we've already got the information. We're not giving them the crucial piece. We're giving them the pickup point, which hopefully we're already off the train by then. But we have to find a way, possibly through not one of us four, to sell a piece to otters.
I didn't catch it. What are you trying to do?
So if we can essentially try to find somebody to sell the plan to an otter, so that we're not.
I'd suggest to somebody we don't really care about, because if they go, who knows how Otto will deal with that. You might.
Well, I mean, it's accurate. We're not selling them false information.
Oh, I know, but we're talking about Otto here.
Yes. That's
Whoever goes
why
to talk to him is going to be in
I
danger.
want it to be one of us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, who don't we like?
Well, the worm did cause us a great deal of trouble, and our boss wanted him to be offed, as it were, anyway.
He's
I don't
probably
think he's
already
around.
swimming.
Quite a
I think
deal
he's
of
swimming
trouble.
with the fishes already.
What about the pigeon?
He got nested.
We need a patsy.
It's at this point someone comes like stumbling up to your table that you really wouldn't expect to see here, and it is Bruno, the nurse, the cheetah nurse.
Oh man,
And
yeah.
he is basically just wearing his scrubs, like he's like got off work, and makes a beeline directly to Cobb. Hey, buddy, hey, and like his paws are all shaky, and his voice is kind of a little rattly, and hey, you got any more of that stuff, Cobb? I haven't seen you in a while, and you said you could get me some more.
I
And
thought
he's
we
like-
couldn't talk about Bruno.
Hey, keep it down. Here, you look terrible, Bruno. Here, have a seat, man. I'll like snap a spinner at for like, hey, sweetheart, get this guy something to drink.
And so
You
Bruno
look well,
sits
Bruno.
down. Bruno sits down and he's like super anxious, kind of looking all around. A drink. That sounds good. I definitely could use a drink.
But it's the nip you want, huh?
It calms my nerves. It's so good. The only thing that calms me down more than that is being around Dr. Leslie Ruffenstein. But she gets busy and she's taking care of everybody. And, I feel like such a bother and a burden. And he's like, his eyes are darting all around. And he looks like he just wants to crawl out of his own skin. He seems to be on the verge of a panic attack.
Take
I'm
it
like
easy.
side-eyeing you guys. Like, did you seriously get this cheetah addicted to catnip?
Hey, that's all Cobb.
Uh,
I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I didn't do it.
It was a medical necessity. Those purrs are very therapeutic. Look, sit tight, Bruno. Let me see what I can do. And I'll sort of like try to. Well, I mean, I guess it's sort of like a mob hangout. I'll try to like work the room and see if I can, just see if I can pick up on anybody who's got any catnip or adjacent herbs.
I think for looking for illicit goods is definitely going to be a capers.
Okay. Commit caper. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sly. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got a +2 to that. Ooh, 12. And no doubles.
All right, 12. Excellent. You work the room, but not only are you able to score some catnip, you're also able to score a decent quality catnip at a very premium price.
Okay.
Apparently, like the four of you's reputation has preceded you, and they seem to be trying to get on your good side.
Yeah, whoever it is, I'll like kind of point them out across the room and be like, look, I got this cat nurse hooked on this stuff, but if you can keep it coming, this could be lucrative for both of us.
Yeah, so Mallory the Mallard
All right.
is your contact, and she's
My catnip dealer.
Yeah, so she's like kind of like not really mafia per se, but kind of like rocking the whole flapper aesthetic. Seems like she likes to kind of live a little bit dangerous, and she might have a thing for bad boys.
Okay. So I'll sort of play that angle up. I'll be like, this guy, he's turned into a regular catnip head here. We plan on hanging out here regularly. So if this is your usual haunt, this could work out for both of us. And so I'll go back over to Bruno and I'll be like, I don't want to give him the whole thing at once. Just like I'll give a little bit. Like Bruno, now this is California Kush catnip. Okay, it's really strong, so you're gonna have to really be careful with it. You don't want to get too much tolerance. It's gonna really knock you on your ass.
Okay, thanks.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
All right. So I'll just give it to him.
Bruno begins to purr with anticipation a little bit, slams his drink,
so
and practically runs out of here. Bruno's a cheetah, and Bruno is very fast, so...
Okay. Well, that was the thing that happened, huh?
At some point in time, we're going to have to use that speed.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to be a getaway cheetah. And, having a friend at the nurse can't help either with all the scrapes that we tend to get into.
Oh, indeed.
Now I'm drinking Moscow Mules from my other hand to show off my silver ring.
I've often wondered if there were any meese.
I think it's Meese.
Whose name might
definitely Meese. I'm not that smart.
Just curious, that's all.
If there are any moose that what?
Named Mickey.
Oh.
The moose? That's a rather ridiculous name, isn't it?
Come on, Eve.
Yes.
I don't think anything close to that would be able to take off. And,
especially here in Florida. You're out of your mind. There's no mooses around here.
If there's a moose, it's definitely going to be named Wally. Yeah. So, what are the things that you've noticed? Like, no one has brought you drinks or food or whatever you've ordered has asked for payment.
Oh,
really?
Your drinks.
Tip then.
Your drinks have been on the house.
I would probably be a big tipper then. Like a generous, overly so, since we're not paying for him anyway.
Which your server is very appreciative of. A young gazelle that has been, pretty attentive to your table and making sure that your glasses stay full.
Sure.
So
that's a life lesson for viewers too. It's like if you get something off on your bill, tip on what it actually costs, not the discounted price. The server will appreciate it.
100%. So I will when the waitress isn't there, I'll kind of like mention to Eve, who definitely is better at talking than little old me. Why don't you ask where the man is? Where is Mr. Gambino?
Oh,
Like is not like an accusatory thing, but just inquisitiveness. Show that there's interest.
right. Do you have anything in particular you're looking for?
Well, I mean, we got the coin. We were welcome to come here before we could kind of introduce ourselves and meet the Tuska Towers overall, whatever. There was a big kerfuffle. We dropped off I just point towards the trophies. We still haven't, gotten a chance to rub hooves. Not saying hi. Like, I wanna say hi.
All right. I'll bite.
Doesn't have to be tonight. I'm not asking for pressure.
All right. So she will when the waitress comes up, she will casually mention, so darling, where is Carlo, the big man, as it were? I'm just like, he's usually around.
Yeah, he was in here earlier this evening, like when the club first opened, and he had the heads put up and approved. Took got a look at them. Had a photographer come take his picture underneath of them. Wants to get it framed or something. I don't know. And then it sounded like he had something important to tend to. He's usually here every night.
Oh, I wonder what he might attend.
I don't know. I try not to ask too many questions. So everyone's kind of been chatting, and Oliver's been a little quiet, and you notice something underneath of the glass that Bruno is drinking from. A piece of paper that's not actually a napkin.
Like quietly snag that.
So you're able to grab it easily enough. It's very dim lit. There's smoke. It's very smoky in here. A lot of sound and noise going on.
Look at it under the table.
So in a very shaky hand, you see written a message that Alligator is coming back to the zoo. He was transferred out under a medical emergency a few days back.
I see.
And he'll be coming back to the zoo.
Dynamite in your face will do that to you.
Yes. Hopefully he doesn't accidentally eat some again.
Yeah, that would be really unfortunate.
By the way, shout out to Thaco the Clown for Mickey Moose. I've just been looking at chat. Everybody's got great ideas.
They always do.
Right?
Indeed.
So I think we're gonna wrap things up right here.
Oh, okay.
With it, and but don't go away yet for several reasons. One, I believe Ted has an announcement to put out there in a bit, but also I figured we'd take a couple minutes to answer some questions and talk about some of the questions that have been coming up in the chat a little bit. Since it is a little bit early.
Okay.
One of the things earlier that came up with the dice, where like Ted failed the roll and Doug succeeded with consequence but got doubles, so he got like a boon and a bane at the same time. And the reason for that is because of the doubles, right? That adds something extra. In a case of, when something happens with a partial success, it exasperates the success part as well as the consequence part. But because you did partially succeed in that scene, you were able to kind of like win over the animals in the car and eventually, negate Tommy's failure in that moment, in that scene. And then there have been questions about the humans and the animals and languages, and often we joke about hands or not having them. And thus far in the game, we've left that intentionally vague and ambiguous. We like the idea that they're not anamorphic animals, anthropomorphic animals, but they're just animals. But we also want them to do people things, and you kind of need hands for that. So we just don't really talk about the hands that much, except for when we're kind of joking. And of course,
I feel like they would get too noodly and like crunchy if you tried to like gamify that. Like, there's so many animals, and it's like, what they would be able to do and all that.
The problem with clearly defining that is if people want column A and you say it's column B, it can be unhappy, and vice versa. If you leave it vague, and we can even put we're being vague on purpose, then whatever column you want to go in when you play and you run the game, you've got that capacity to go in the direction that you want.
Do what works for your table.
Yeah,
exactly. Not having the humans involved means it's all animals. Like, you get clothes. Like, I have a choice. What kind of hat do I want? What kind of thing do you wear? Do you want knickerbockers, long +4s, wide-legged Oxford bag pants? Like, those are the options for this particular playbook. Like, but clearly you aren't wearing the clothes when people are coming to view you at the zoo, or are the humans so stupid that you're wearing clothes and they just don't know? Again, see the aforementioned vagary as you want.
Now,
I've been playing this character that humans are just dumb, and Tommy hates them. But from Ted's perspective, which could be very different from everybody else's, like, animals kind of have that clock in of like, okay, it's time to be an animal again. Let humans do their thing. So he takes off his shirt and his vest, and they get hidden in the the special area along with the guns and the knives and everything else. And that's just what I do. But that's perspective.
And to me, that's sort of the interesting thing about, like, sort of designing your own system or hacking it, is like you can just add in like rules for that stuff. Like, I always think of like Tales from the Loop as a great example. There's just like a rule of the game is just like, adults will just never believe you, right? Like, no matter, you could go right up to them and be like, yeah, I just saw like a zombie Tyrannosaurus pop out of a portal. They're just like, well, you're a kid, they're just not going to happen no matter what. So
really?
That's sort of my perception with the humans here. It's just like, it's just sort of like a rule of the game. It's like, you just don't interact with them, because if you do, then you get a marker and bad things happen.
And that's things we're going to address in the in the rules when we write them as well, right? Like, kind of like how we're doing things intentionally with being ambiguous and vague, and that's because that's the kind of games we want to play at our tables. But we'll also discuss things like, well, maybe you want them to be all anthropomorphic animals in your world, and that's just how it works. And then you pretend to be regular animals when people are watching, right? Yeah. And the games that we're running, we're just not worrying about it.
If you want there to be a magical transformation that happens when the lights go out, when the zoo turns off the circuit breaker, like, okay, whoop, this whole thing, and this magical world of, zoo transformation happens, and like the clothing just appears and the guns just appear, and there's extra buildings and things. Whatever you feel is going to work for your group, your table, that's what you do.
Yeah, I guess you're sort of watching us explore these ideas and questions while we're live, while we're doing it, which is kind of interesting. So, like, we kind of been chatting, while we're playing, like, is it maybe like even sort of like a phase of the game? There's like, the time between, like the daytime, and there's like, it sort of all revolves around like the next job. And it's like, right now we're like planning the next job. And like some of our moves are like, when you're planning a job, you can do this. And then there's the job that you actually, kind of playing around with, like, is that an actual like phase of the game, or is it just how we're interpreting? We also like we keep splitting off into different pairs, which almost feels like a quasi game mechanic to me at this point, but it's awesome because it's like these little side stories that come back together. It's been really fun.
Well, with us doing the shortened session, 2 hours, very jam packed, and tonight we didn't even go that far. Like,
that's a great
I
session,
find it.
Dave, thanks.
It's absolutely. It's really great because all of us really play well together. We've been doing this for quite a while on Tuesdays, that we could pair everybody in every which combination can be fun. And because we can all just be like, all right, well, I will sit back and wait my turn and pay attention. There is that give and take. And Dave does a great job with doing the bounce back and forth, where two things get to happen at the same time. And none of us are like, oh, well, I want it to be my turn. And like, there's horror stories out there about, players who are like, literally rant and rave and complain because they've had to sit and wait for 20 minutes while other characters did things.
Yeah, I think we're such a close-knit group now. So it's like, I feel like I'm just enjoying watching, like, oh, what are even Oliver doing right now and stuff. It's cool to me.
For real.
You
don't have to
agree.
divide.
Right.
Like you don't want to divide into pairs or whatever. You don't want your groups to be like, well, we all want to do the same thing together. You could totally do that. Like, it's an RPG. We just choose to divide it up because that's what naturally seems to happen with this group.
Yeah. We're also none of us are like tough to, like I always imagine, like if we were all like a bear and a rhino, and it's like it would probably be a much different game because like wouldn't really have to be sneaky in the slide. We're just going like crackheads and take what we want and stuff. It would probably be a lot different.
Right. And
that was a
that's
plan.
an
That was
aspect-
just all the animals we picked. We're like, these are all kind of small, crafty things.
And if you play a game where you're like, all right, I'm going to take a rhino, an alligator, a bear, and a lion, and be like, all right, well, what is this mafia, or what is this mafia gonna that missions or those missions get to be a lot different.
They get to be a lot different, but also like your group's dynamic with the animals that you've chosen has you guys get a lot of benefits. And me as a GM hand waving when it comes to a lot of things that involve stealth and sneaking in and out of places where like, can I go in the vent? You're like, go in the, of course you can. You're little, or fly, you have wings, you can fly. Where if you're playing, a rhino or a bear, I'd be like, no, it's a vent. You can't go in there. But the benefit to that is like those characters are probably going to have abilities where they can soak more damage, and they don't have to worry about the harm factor of the game, quite as much. And that's like we'll address in a tag section of the rules.
How has it been for you running the game, Dave? And sort of like, I mean, you kind of took the lead on. As far as I mean, I don't know how much it's my impression that you kind of took the design lead anyway. Has it been, any weird insights or things that you've noticed that were surprising or anything?
Well, it's been a lot. It's a lot of fun, and it's also weird because we're running our first playtest live, right? So, which also like playing a streamed game versus and a home game versus an actual playtest game are very, very different things. Sure. But this is our proof of concept. This is our alpha test, which I've been able to garner some cool insights from. You guys as players like will push me because you guys are just really good role players and very creative and will oftentimes think out of the box in order to solve problems. I feel like with this group, violence is probably like your last resort, just in general, right? So that pushes me to figure out, well, what does this look like? How far can they actually push this person that is a hardened criminal without violence actually breaking out, right? So it's kind of like a give and take, like you guys figuring out what you can do and what you can get away with, where like Oliver's like, yeah, I'll work for you, and the dude's like, sure, all right, I don't trust this person that's with us right now, I need you to shoot them. Right? So like so like it's trying to figure out where the lines are, and where we can push the boundaries. And in a game like this, to be honest with you, like Oliver could have been like, okay, and then shoot Eve.
For the running stuff, it's really all been Dave so far, and there's been some conversations and whatnot. But I mean, a lot of stuff is like, all right, Dave puts forth an idea, says, all right, this is what we're going with for right now. And with him being the DM, I've just kind of like, all right, go for it. And as we kind of play, and maybe once I get on the other side of the GM screen at some point in time, and see what it's like to run a game, I might have some insights of my own. We're going to be trying to figure this stuff out for a while. So
I definitely want to add, like a crit kind of system for the 12 or 12 plus. So that's something I'll probably introduce next week. And that's also been like something that's been happening, like we're making like little tweaks as we go. And like when the last time Doug rolled the 12 plus, I was like, there should be something more for that. And I do know some Powered by Apocalypse games do use crits and kind of in that sense. So that's something we'll look at as well. I know other Powered by Apocalypse games, it's only when you get to where you're choosing your advanced moves that the crit like unlocks for the game. Kind of. I think Monster of the Week is kind of like that.
I didn't even know there was a. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like we all have different levels of experience with the kind of base system. It's like I've never played any Powered by the Apocalypse games at all, so it's all new to me.
Dave ran a Monster of the Week game on one of our Saturday night groups, and it was an absolute blast. I really enjoyed that game. I've never run a Powered by the Apocalypse game. I've played a couple sessions of Dungeon World, and I've read a handful of different, or flipped through. I mean, I can't say I've read a book, a rule book cover to cover, but I've read a bunch of stuff on a variety of games. One, to kind of get a little bit more foundation when we're looking for a rule set to go with, but two, because I've also got interest in some of the other games that are out there.
Ghost Lines. Like, I don't hear about it nearly often enough. It is an amazing game. It's got such a cool concept, and the rules are like, there's 2 pages. Like, it's really not hard to read through the whole thing. It's really great.
What game?
Ghost Lines.
Sounds cool.
I'll have to look that up.
It's like being Ghostbusters on a steampunk train. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I can never get anyone to play it with me.
Well, maybe, I mean, if Robin maybe wants to run a one-shot for us of that, I would love to check it out.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
All right, stick it on the things to do.
Hey, Ted, did you say you had an announcement? I just didn't want you to forget it.
Yeah. It's just this Friday. You can come back and watch Robin and I for a edition of Untraditionally Arcane. We left on a pretty fun cliffhanger. That's
that's right. Somebody betrayed us.
Is it who I think it was, Ted?
I'm not going to reveal.
Okay.
They're having a conversation with a powerful NPC that said, hey, there's a traitor in your midst. So we'll get to see what transpires then. So come on back Friday night and check out the next session of our all wizard game, Traditionally Arcane.
Yeah. So Parks has a question that I'm gonna answer it, and then we can talk about it a little bit if you guys want, and then we'll wrap things up. I know we're a little over now. So, are there plans to expand this like a fantasy setting version of magical menagerie kind of deal? I have a list of Zoo Mafia expansions. For like almost every genre.
Zoo Mafia in the Wild West, Zoo Mafia in space, Zoo Mafia in the future, Zoo Mafia Witness Protection Program. Yeah.
I totally grew up on Crypto the Super Dog with like Streaky the cat and stuff. I would love to see like super pets. That would just be amazing.
So there could be expansion where you're playing the Fuzz and against Zoo Mafia. So I mean, if it pans out, of course, I think there's tons of things we'd like to do with it. That would be really fun, I think.
So it just has to do with whether how successful the project ends up being, and if it ends up being something people are interested in.
Yeah. And I mean, my personal feeling is like worst case, like say it wasn't a big Kickstarter thing, we still have the rules. I mean, we could still just put something together and share it for fun and play it.
If we make quick start rules and it winds up going in a direction, hey, awesome. If not, and we still like our game, we can continue to explore it over on the website, continue to play here on occasion. There's always opportunities, even if it never gets to a published state. It's a PDF. Throw it up on the website.
But you guys can help with that. Share the newsletter around, share the videos around, and let your friends know. And once we get the quick start rules in your hands, hopefully you'll play them with your friends, and you can share your experiences with us as well. And also too, once we get those quick start rules out there and we get some like a beta play test out there, we'll start getting some feedback as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure.
I think that's going to go a long way towards helping get the word out, and that's the biggest thing. Is if you guys want this to be a serious thing, we need more people on that list to know that they're actually interested in this awesome endeavor that we're trying to do.
Yep. And I'll just say this too, like I've never played Powered by the Apocalypse before. I know Doug hasn't either. So like, even though especially at the beginning, it felt kind of like maybe a little rough watching us struggle with the idea of the ally die, the neutral die, and the enemy die. Dave made it super streamlined actually to understand, so that even after just a couple sessions, having never played anything like this system before, we figured it out.
Yeah.
The ally die, the enemy, and the neutral die are not a normal thing in Powered by the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
usually
Well,
like two
but to
dice.
Steven's point, yeah, I remember at first we were like, wait, what am I doing now? And then like by session 2, it's like, okay, I got it. Or
Yeah, exactly. Like it might have looked rough because we were just learning it ourselves, but it's actually pretty simple to understand.
right.
And to
I
be
really
fair,
like
it has changed a couple of times. I mean, at initial concept, like we weren't going to be rolling 3 dice 6. It was just going to be using the standard 2 dice and move on. And Dave's like, I really like this idea. And we kind of like workshopped of how this would work. And I'm like, would that change the difficulties? Is like, no, you just put the other die aside. It only matters when you're doing this. And I'm like, that's pretty genius. So.
Yeah,
And
it is cool. I like how it plays out too as a player. It's fun.
Well, and honestly, I just stole it from the age system, right? Like I've took inspiration from the age system and also the Fantasy Flight Star Wars game. I like narrative dice. And that's also something we'll work on to develop to make that a little smoother and cleaner, and also to focus on the narrative parts a little bit more of that. But with that, I think we're going to wrap up. Like I said, it's a little bit late, and I know people might have things to do, but we appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Come back here on Friday afternoon and Friday evening. We'll be having a live chat during the day, a game at night of D&D. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
And we're out.